Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
Ready, set, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest today is a Los Angeles-based professional celebrity photographer, publicist, producer, and director. He's traveled to the far corners of the world in a devoted career that extends itself to the worlds of art, entertainment, religion, philanthropy, charitable foundations, and business. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stephen Williams. Stephen, welcome and
Ron,
welcome.
thank you, man. How are you?
Looking good like a brother should. That's what we call it.
Your silver dollar's working then, isn't it?
I believe so. I believe so. By the way, I like that background that you got. It's a beautiful background.
Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Looking good.
Appreciate it.
So tell
Thank
us,
you
where were you born? I'm sorry?
Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, we love it. Wouldn't have it any other way. Tell us, where were you born?
Right here in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay.
There used to be a hospital called John Wesley. That was exactly where I was born.
Okay. When did you first get a chance to have a camera in your hand?
My mom bought me a Polaroid camera when I probably was about the age of 5. And that's where I learned because of mom. Here I am. And God, of course.
Wow. In all these years, you've come a long way, as they say. You've come a long, long way.
God has brought me from a mighty long way.
Here's a question. What's the difference between a professional photographer and a photographer? What's the difference?
You know, I always get asked that question, Ron. And to me, it's the gift that God gives you. It's a gift that you have that you're born with. I've learned over the years, but photography, can I give you my story?
Please make it short.
Okay, so let me make it real short. I didn't choose photography. Photography chose me. Basically, I was going to become a commercial airline pilot. Ron, I started off on the good foot and went to the bad foot, got caught up in some illegal stuff and found myself surrounded by the Secret Service. And yes, yours truly, man. And I'm telling everyone out here, never give up on your past. Know that God can change it. And that's exactly what happened to me. I found myself trying to get out of a web, fighting court cases and this and that, and God showed up. I just left my whole entire white-collar crime alone. And God showed up, man. He made a way. I was at an event to promote peace between the Crips and the Blood that Janice McZill of Asante Fashion was giving. It was at MacArthur's Park. And Regina King was there. We became friends. We started hanging out. She went to Greater Bethany Church with me, where Bishop Noel Jones was a pastor. And brother, from that point on, things just happened. She invited me to shoot her wedding in Jamaica. There was Vivica Fox, Tisha Campbell, Nia Long, Tisha Arnold. It was incredible. It was just incredible. And John Singleton and other people were there. When I got back to LA, John Robinson, who was a producer for Babyface, gave me the opportunity to come in and work with LaFace and Tracy Edmonds, Usher, Azjet, and it just took off, man. It was just God opened the door.
Here's a picture you're talking about. Number 4. We just got it hot off the presses. Okay. Tony, can you give us number 4? There. Is this the picture you're talking about?
That is one of the pictures that Roz, who was my I worked for the Ross Stephen Public Relations, a great lady. Working for her was like working for God's woman. It was just incredible. She was phenomenal. She treated everyone like family. And Roz and I had a situation where there was racial tension in all the high schools. And I asked Roz to help me. She was glad to do it. Queen Latifah supported me. I got Regina King, Tashina Arnold, Edward James Olmos to go and speak to the youth at Dorsey High School with other professionals to encourage them to continue their education and to get rid of the violence. We don't need violence, man, in our public schools.
You mentioned Ron Stevenson, that lady right there.
Yes.
Thank
My
you, Tony.
former
That
employer.
a lot of people don't know that lady. And by the way, in case folks
Iconic,
didn't,
legendary, iconic, legendary, a gift from
indeed.
God. Yes.
She has her own book out right now.
You
So,
got
folks,
one, I got several.
please go get this book. This will tell you the true story about what goes on in Hollywood.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She wrote it. The lady is beautiful. As a reporter, I can remember many times when I wanted to see a particular person, they wouldn't let me do it.
Yes.
Roz was able to open up a lot of doors for me and a whole lot of other people to come in and talk to a celebrity for the benefit of our people.
She took black, Ron, if I may say,
Yes.
she took black
Yes.
media. Yeah, that's her book. You please get that book.
Yes.
It's on Amazon and on her website. Roz did something that had never been done because our counterparts believed that they really didn't need us to sell their films. And
Okay.
Roz let them know how they could, and they saw the demographics, later saw the numbers, everything added up. And not only did she bring us into that arena, radio, television, all media.
Mm-hmm.
But she also made the studios buy ads, which therefore provided opportunities, financial opportunities for Black media. So this was groundbreaking because we didn't have that before. Her and Robert are trailblazers in their career, and Roz is absolutely the best.
Roz, I hope you're listening to us today. We're talking about you, lady. We're talking about you. Oh,
She
my
will.
goodness. Tony, can you put up a 9A for just a moment? Tell me what that is right there that I'm looking at.
Believe once upon a time a brother had hair, and
That's
it was
you.
a portrait, yes. And it's the front, it's not the front cover, but it's the inside cover of my book called Shades of Color. And I created that book because of the lack of diversity that we experience as people of color. And this book has people from all of our diaspora and our Latino brothers and Italian brothers and others, Asian, in this book, and it's phenomenal. Amari Hardwick, Tyson Bedford, Rockman Dunbar, Gregory Keith, Jensen Atwood, and countless other people in the book. It's a homage, and the one and only Andre Crouch is
Oh,
as
yes,
well.
indeed.
Yeah,
How do you describe your work?
my work. You know, man, I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do.
Mhm.
I love people seeing a different part of themselves that they never knew existed. And I try to capture that essence of people and show it in a different way. Uh, Sometimes people have low self-esteem. They see themselves in a very negative environment. And I try to, with my crew of people, change their outlook and give them something positive because we want to feel good about ourselves. We
Oh,
want to look
yes,
our best, and we want the photography to uh, display all that. So I try to capture the person's essence and give the best side of them that I can.
right. I was doing some research there. I found the two fellows, the first black photographers recorded that was James Van Der Zee and Gordon Parks.
Yes, yes,
Mm,
yes. The phenomenal Superman, Superfly, Gordon Parks.
that's you.
Now, Gordon Parks, I mean, he took it to a whole different level, but he started off, capturing stuff that was happening in our community that was
Mhm.
so important to us, uh, things that were not exposed. There's a very famous shot of a person being handcuffed at Park
Uh-huh.
that was phenomenal, and just some of the abuse that African Americans dealt with, and still our plight is not over. We're still being disenfranchised in so many other arenas. But Gordon Parks was a phenomenal, and he's one to be respected and reverenced.
We got a couple of photos of some of the people that you worked with. The first one that you did was a young lady by the name of Beyonce.
Yes, Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child.
But this one is Beyonce Omari Tarara.
Oh yes, Omari Hardwick, Beyonce.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the young lady who started off with Jay-Z's record label and went on to be one of the stars in Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Yes, and actually, her and I hung out at church a couple of times.
Wow.
So I did Yvette Noel Shore from Columbia Records called me and said, Stephen, I've got a girl group called Destiny's Child, and there's a song called Bugaboo, and I would love for you to work with them. And I said, sure, I would love to. And it was at my school right here in LA, my high school, Fairfax High School. So that was the beginning of a great friendship with Kelly. No, it was the original Destiny's Child.
Gotcha.
And then I ended up working on Say My Name and worked with the today Destiny's Child. But I'm friends of all the girls. I love them. They're amazing and super talented. And they're all friends, and everything's worked out wonderfully. So that's a good.
Here's another one for you, Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Yes, Cheryl Lee Ralph. Cheryl Lee Ralph, my God, an amazing woman. I love Cheryl Lee Ralph, what she has done for the LGBT community and others, how she has, helped so many different people on so many different levels. Diva Simply Singing, one of her premier events that she does annually to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS. I love her. I photographed her daughter's birthday party and some of her events that she's done. She's just an amazing woman. And our dream girl.
What was that book she was holding in her hand?
That's my book, man.
That's your book?
Image Shades of Color. That is my book. Yes.
How do you get one?
Well, you just go to my website or you go to Amazon. It's Steve's Image. .com, my website, or you go to Amazon and it's Steve's Image Shades of Color. Love is Blind, and you get the book. Now, I created that book because of the lack of diversity. To me, we live in a world that sees every color, every complexion, every as valuable, and this is what I hope to have captured in my book.
You
and I make it inexpensive so everybody can get it.
Got you. You travel many places. Here's one picture I found on you. This is when you were in Europe.
Oh, wow. You guys have been digging. So the picture on, the one with the yellow and blue shirt was my first time to Paris, 1994. And the one with the coat on is my trip to Paris. I was standing in the Eiffel Tower. In 2020. Yeah, I took my mom, my sister, we all went to France and had a great time, London, and enjoyed ourselves.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. There's so many things that you've done, and we only have 17.
I've worked with Michael Jackson. I've worked with Rihanna, Rodney Jerkins, who is Darkchild. He's worked with so many artists. Roz has taken me into the world of publicity. We worked on American Gangster, Pursuit of Happiness, Jennifer Aniston, Greg Vaughn's film, The Breakup, Monster, just so many incredible films and experience in film and photography.
Speaking of photography and video, we just happen to have a shortcut. Can you roll that, Tony?
Oh, wow. Amari, my brother. Yes. And all the other models and actors. Thank you.
Ready, set, go.
Here's how you can order.
Yes.
Oh.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. There's so many people that you've had a chance to.
You won't be able to put the book down. You'll be licking your fingers. It's so tasty. But it's a great, great book, and we've got some great professionals in the book. And,
Wow.
and one of my dear friends, Marcus Patrick, he's a great actor, father, jiu-jitsu. He does it all. He's and he loves the Lord.
Yes.
Marcus Patrick.
Wow. Interesting. When do you have time to enjoy yourself, to relax?
I do, man. Every night I'm so tired, I sleep and I wake up and it's a brand new day. No matter what we go through in life, got to count your blessings and give praise to God because today did not have to be here, brother.
Interesting. Interesting. Goodness. Uh, what advice would you give people who want to get into the business?
Do your homework, definitely. A
Okay.
lot of times when we take panels of professionals and actors and singers to the different high school, you hear a lot of times the youth say they want to be rappers, they want to be uh, athletes, and but the percentage of them trying to get into those fields are very slim. So we say, well, think about being the get a backup plan in case you don't become the NBA player. Be the doctor for them. Be the lawyer. Go into
Hmm.
sports medicine. Just deviate from different branches of the field that you want to get into. You may not be the actor, but you could be the accountant, you can be the manager, you could be the agent, you can be the photographer. There's always have a backup plan
Oh,
because
yes.
those
Always
fields are
have a
very
backup plan.
competitive. Don't give up on yourself and don't give up on your dream,
Right.
but also have a backup plan. When I'm not doing my photography, I'm doing publicity. If I'm not doing publicity, every day I'm feeding the homeless, I'm providing shelter to those who I can help along the way. And, you just want to be sure that you've got at least two or three streams because, man, it's rough out in California,
Hard out there for, they say hard
man.
for the pimp.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Oh, goodness. We were talking about the different types of photographers out there. One type that you see all the time, it's about money for them. Paparazzos.
Yes, it's so many paparazzi. Photographers got a bad name when they say paparazzi because they're they're not they're photographers, but their mission is can be cutthroat. They will go
Yes.
to any extent, anything to obtain that photograph. From having helicopters fly over people's house to barging indoors, hopping over gates, and we don't want to do that. I mean, they make lots of money. The money's very tempting, but that's not the kind of photography that I do. Madonna blessed me many years ago with Kenny and Tracy. We were backstage in Nickelodeon, and I wanted to take a picture of her daughter. Doesn't let anyone photograph her children, and she allowed me to photograph her daughter. And that photograph was worth about $150,000 if I had sold it. But I knew if I did that, my credibility and honesty and just my values would have been jeopardized. So I never did that. And now that Lourdes is grown and everyone can see her, I'm able, I'm able to, yes, brother. Yes, brother. I'm able to show that. Yeah, God is good. Yes.
Because I was just about to ask you, what do you have to do to get a picture?
Just ask. Most of the time when uh, entertainers, they know they have fan base and they know
Hmm.
the photographers. And if they're respectful, most of the time they'll work with you, even give you opportunities. They like your work, they see the work in the magazine. I was really blessed early in my career to work with Ebony, Sister Magazine, Jet Magazine. I got, my godmother, Janae Dubois, and Janet Jackson. I took some photographs of them backstage. That made Photograph of the Week. Um, God rest her so I miss her every day. Janae,
Yes.
such a giving and loving and spiritual person. But,
Yes.
working with Vibe magazine and The Source, and I've been really blessed, man. MCA Records, DreamWorks, Universal. Um, I've been really, really blessed. God opened this door for me as an alternative. You
Got
know,
you.
I decided, hey, I don't want to live this life. I want to get out of crime. I want to serve
Yes.
God. and I don't want to be looking over my back, and I don't want to go to jail. So,
You say again, I don't want to do that. No, no.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it was a lot of struggling, a lot of things before I got to this position, I went through a lot. I mean, I was homeless for a period of time, but I
Wow.
didn't give up. I didn't go back to old habits. You're going to be tempted. Tests are going to come, but you don't give up on yourself. You keep praying, keep moving forward, stay in the word of God, reach out to friends that are positive. And I mean, it's everything will come together, but you can't give up.
Do you go to events like like last night was the Tony Awards? Do you go to the Oscar Awards? You all these different award shows?
I have never shot the Tony Awards.
Yeah.
Never shot the Oscars. I've shot the Grammys. I've shot the American Music Awards.
Right.
Yes, I've shot so many different events, but I will shoot the Oscars. Sony promised me that I would be on the red carpet shooting. So Sony, make that happen. Let's do it. Let's do it. We'd love to shoot the Oscars. Yes.
You are also a publicist. Define what you have to do to be a publicist.
Well, I was trained by the best,
Yes.
and the publicist is responsible for making sure the artist gets into media, radio, television, uh, our social media as well, print media. You're marketing your client, you're marketing the film, you're taking out those things that are going to enhance that person. And that's really the job of a publicist is marketing, putting that client into the best light so
Mm.
that people know who they are. Rodney Jerkins hired me. He had Courtney Barnes, who's a phenomenal publicist, and he said, "I want you to get me, some work." And I did, and Rolling Stones and everybody. And then we got him VH1 making the band. And he said,
Yes.
"Stephen, let's slow down because this is so much." But, we do what we do. And Rodney's a super talented artist.
Mm.
And at some point he decided, well, I just kind of want to bring things down and not be seen so much because it does when you're a
Right.
star, your privacy is gone.
Tell us about the place where your studio, where you go and do all your work at.
I
And what's
shoot
that
at
like?
several studios. I shoot here where I live.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I live in the beautiful city of Monrovia, but I've got a couple of studios that I work out of in Burbank.
Wow.
Uh, and I love the ocean. So
Mhm.
I do a lot of I love the outdoors and the mountains, the oceans, waters, lakes, deserts. I like to capture that. I love the sands in Africa, in Egypt. So it's wherever I can get to, man, wherever our budget would allow us to go and
Okay.
capture God's.
There are a lot of folks out there. How do they get in touch with you? How do they do that?
They go to my website, Steve's Image, SteveSimage. They can find me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, uh, also on X, which used to be Twitter. And they can find my information. My email address is stephenwilliamspr@aol.com. And just inbox me and I will respond.
Oh, goodness, goodness. The work that you have to do, the things what's the best award you've ever gotten?
Life.
Ah, beautiful,
Wow.
beautiful, beautiful.
Wow. Because that's another story. We don't have time to talk about that. But man,
We have a minute or two.
at the age of 5, I was hit by a car.
Okay.
I remember parts of that seemed like outside of my body.
Yes.
Even though I was very young, I still remember that very, I went through some pretty serious things in life. I had a gun pulled on me twice, a bullet twice,
Mm.
6 feet away. Who can miss at 6 feet away? Nobody can. But God did not allow that to hit me. So I'm here by the grace of God, by his grace, man. So that's why I say every day is a gift. Every day is an award. What you do with your life is a gift back to God. So keep moving forward. Don't let the past be your future.
Gotcha. Technology and photography, those quite a combination, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And you want to master both because today in any photo, any cover that you see of any magazine, it's retouched. So one of the important things that I have learned is about retouching and when I do my films and documentaries, it's, you've got to be able to do all that technical work, and it's a lot of work. That's why they give Academy Awards to editors, because it is a lot of work, brother. You've
Mhm.
got to do so many different levels and put it all together in transitions, and it can be very, very tedious work,
I
meticulous.
got one for you. They call it AI, artificial intelligence. What's your thoughts about that?
I love it. I think it is the wave of the future. But even remember when photographers were shooting with only negatives, print
Hmm.
negatives.
Hmm.
Now, what it did do, it made the processing for photographers where we're able to instantly give it to the magazines. And before it was a whole process, 2 or 3 days before you can get that image. And if you had so much going on, you had to just wait, and you had deadlines. So you were stressed out. Where now you can go in, you can retouch and edit. Whereas AI it's going to have it allows me to retouch at a very fast pace,
Yes.
change my backgrounds and to change things that normally would take forever. So AI is good. I'm very much for AI, but like every, you get something new,
Hmm.
certain work groups are going to suffer. So remember Kodak, Fuji, all those companies began to not begin to lay off people because nobody was buying film. It was all digital.
Wow.
So people will be heard and
Yes.
others will be helped.
Wow. Would you believe that according to what I saw, the best photographer in the world right now, his name is Steve. Steve McCurry. Does that name sound familiar?
Steve McCurry,
Yes.
I don't know him.
I didn't know him either. I go to my favorite little guy, my second brain, it's my second brain. Okay,
Yes.
Google. And that's what they gave me. I said, well,
Wow. Congratulations, Steve McCurry.
has your name. Yes, your name.
That is
Oh,
great.
my friend, what you have done so much in the years, and you just keep on coming, keep on coming. You're always at what, no matter what happens to you, you're back again. Back.
God is good. God is good, man.
Mm.
And Ron, one of the most important things to me that I do every day, besides praying, thank God for this day, is when somebody crosses your pathway, don't ignore them. If someone is hungry, feed them. If someone is naked, clothe them. If someone needs you to visit them in a hospital, do.
Yes.
We are here to help and uplift each other. My motto is living to lift up others. We can't save the world, but we can do our part each day.
Yeah.
So that's why I started my foundation, the Stephen Williams Foundation. And
Mhm.
I have been really blessed to be able to touch a lot of lives and to pray for people and just provide from bikes to housing and other good things. So God is good, man.
Say that one more time.
Stephen
God is
Williams
good.
Foundation. God is good.
All right. Looking good. Our next guest just arrived just a few moments ago, but I just want to say, Stephen, one thing. Thank you very, very much for giving us an insight to what it goes on in the world of photography, that a camera can be used to teach us about life.
Yes,
They say that when you are taking a picture, that you are in the moment. And there is
yeah,
also a special connection that you get from others when you take their picture.
that
Gosh,
is correct. That
wow.
is correct, brother. Thank you. Ron, thank you so much for
My
this
pleasure, sir.
opportunity, brother. I appreciate you. Love you, man. And I still have that silver dollar.
I wish you continued success, Stephen, in what you do. And once again, as we say, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Williams. Okay. We'd like to, Roland Tony, we'd like to let you know that we're asking the Actors Choice Squad to help us get former baseball player Kurt Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, Kurt passed away January 20th, 1997, husband of one of our wonderful guests, renowned actress Judy Pace, good old friend. All you got to do is give us a call, 213-349-3941. That's 213-349-3941. Okay? We sincerely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this magnificent award for a great baseball player. Rolling, Tony. Hi, lady. Rolling.
How are you?
Marvelous, marvelous. Ladies and gentlemen, just go ahead and say that, please.
I just wanted to say thank you.
Did you see that lady get up there? And listen, I'm going to say this right now.
I don't know.
This is not only for you, this is for everybody. That lady was not what you call, she wasn't singing. She was singing. She wasn't singing. She was singing.
I love that.
How'd you do that? That looking good. We just today, this lady is an off-Broadway award-winning solo actor, playwright, and an associate professor of musical theater. You just saw a video clip of showing her and hearing her. What a performance she just gave you. So, without any ado, please welcome Shelley Cooper. Hi, Shelley Cooper. How you doing, lady?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
I'm very happy. After watching that, ooh, I like that background you got there. That's very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it's my upcoming show. So, a shameless plug, if you will.
Yes. Oh, goodness. That is something else. That is really something else. Let's see. I got a few things I got later. Okay. Where were you born? Let's get that out of the way. Where were you born?
I was born in Louisville, Kentucky.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? What's it like growing up in that city?
I mean, it was a great place to grow up. I haven't lived there in 20 years, but I visit there often because that's where my family is. But it was surprisingly, it had some really wonderful arts opportunities growing up. It had a lot of the big city amenities, but that small Southern hospitality. So that combination was great growing up in.
Got you. So when did you get this thing about you want to sing? Where did that happen? How young were you? Not old. How young were you when you first started?
So I started acting I knew I had the bug for acting when I was in kindergarten. I got really interested in any kind of public speaking or creative performing opportunities that we had within kindergarten. And so my mother put me in drama school, like an after school drama school, and it was musical theater based. And so my first way in was honestly through acting. But then about 13 is when I really discovered, I can sing. Like I enjoyed singing before then, but I didn't know that this was something that I could make a career doing until potentially 13. But I felt like it was like a little sneak. It was a slow burn, honestly, to like really kind of figure it out and then figure out that I had the capabilities of singing classically and having an operatic sound like that. It took a little bit. I mean, and that makes sense, honestly, because it just takes a while for a voice to mature and grow in that way. But that is what happened.
I always encourage people when you're doing something, particularly in this trade, get some education, get some training. Am I wrong? Am I right?
Oh, you are not incorrect at all. I say there's got to be a balance of training and then experience. So getting on stage, doing the work, and then going into a classroom and getting yourself some technique, because that's the thing that has saved me for the longest time, is that I have trained and worked so hard on my technique that there are some days when you get no time to warm up and you have to just open your mouth and it's got to be there. And so so your point about training is so vital.
Is that dangerous to do that to your voice like that?
No, not, I mean, It is when, I mean, potentially when you are starting off, but I would say now in my career that my instrument is pretty darn solid. I don't ever go out there completely cold, but I might not able to do a full vocal warm up, or I might be able to just do some breathing exercises, some lip trills, and go out there and I can be okay. But 10, 15 years ago, that was not the case for me. But it takes you understanding your instrument. And it also takes time for a voice, especially in classical music, to just settle into what it is.
Wow. So I'm having to, Tony, can you give me number 44 for just a second there? I understand that a person by the name of Ethel and Mary, do you recognize those people there?
Potentially, yeah.
Who are those folks, please? Who are those?
Oh my goodness. So Ethel Merman and Mary Martin, they are arguably the queens of golden age musical comedy. And they were so vastly different in terms of type. And it was delightful that there were composers back then that wrote for those super unique voices.
Mm-hmm. I did a little research. I thought, and when I saw that one, I said, take that one, please.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was a lot. I wrote that during COVID times. And so, and it made its premiere at a cabaret venue in the Quad Cities where I live. Gotcha. They were looking to bring back more audiences in a safe way, and it sold out. We had to add performances. People were excited to not only get back into the theater, but that music is timeless.
Yes. Can I ask a dumb question? A lot of people say this to me, and I'm just curious, and that is your voice insured?
Oh, no, that's not a dumb question. I said that to an actor a couple days ago, actually, that I was working with. I mean, her voice is so, gosh, I should get it insured. I'm not. And I literally gave that advice to an actor 2 days ago. But it's not a dumb question. I should.
Did you see the Tonys last night?
Oh, yes. I can't stop thinking about the Tonys. Did you watch it?
But of course.
Of course, yeah.
Not of course, but of course.
But of course.
Wonderful to see all those people getting up on that stage. I have a bone to pick sometimes with actors and actresses. Tony's, he's laughing at because he knows I say this all the time. People come here to Hollywood. They want to be a star. Great. But they do film, they do television. Okay. But they don't do no stage.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with them?
It's scary. I mean, being on the stage is so scary. There's a vulnerability to it. There's a lack of consistency. It's so challenging, and you have to be able to find like the intimate vulnerability, but while playing to a larger house. But I love theater. It's magic. Yes. But yeah, I agree. Watching the Tonys every year, it's like, yep. And it's my favorite awards show is the Tonys.
Here's a picture I found on you. It's called Guardian Groom. Sound familiar?
Mm-mm. Let's see.
You recognize that one?
I don't see it up on the screen.
Okay. All right. We'll move on then. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, nothing came up. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's go on to the next one. This one, I know you know what this one is. Hit it. Number 46. Tony's smiling. Oh, there it is. La Bimba.
Yeah, there we go. I know her. I know that lady.
Oh, God. That was something else that you did. What made you do that?
Oh, I'm going to try to be brief, but
take your time. Take your time.
Okay. So I wrote that show in 2010, and so it's had a life kind of off and on since then, and evolved and grown. But it was my master's thesis at the University of Central Florida. They thought that my master's role was going to be playing Mabel in Pirates of Penzance. I auditioned. I didn't get the part, and I went, well, what am I going to do with my thesis? And I thought back to, I had a job interview where they asked what would be the scariest thing you could do on stage. And I said, write a solo show and have to perform it in front of people. And then I started thinking back to, when I had a teacher when I was 17 that told me, you could study opera, like your voice is actually built for that. And I didn't know anything really about opera. I had seen Hansel and Gretel, that's it. And probably heard, operatic singing on car commercials and Italian food commercials, but like, but I had never, like, let's be honest. But it's so I typed into, I had that illegal downloading music, Kazaa. I had that program at home, and I typed in opera, and Maria Callas's Vici d'arte from Tosca came up. And I went, yep, I want to learn how to sing like that. So then flash forward to my master's thesis, I went, what if I wrote a show on Callas? It was a bold move. And I went to my thesis advisor, my mentor, and I said, I want to do this, but I don't think I can. He goes, I think it's a brilliant idea, and you absolutely can. I said, but I'm not a playwright, and Callas is a legend. He's like, great, do it anyway. And so that's how that show came to be. But I always tell people that show came from getting rejected. Like that would, if I had not gotten a significant rejection, I don't know that I would have come up with the idea to do it. And so I'm thrilled that I got rejected.
Wow. The name La Divina, or the Divine, as they call it.
Yes.
Did you ever meet her?
No. And when I was off Broadway, though, my usher, he saw her comeback of her at the Met singing Tosca. He said that him and his mom took the train in, and he saw it, and he was like telling me the story. And I went, yeah, I tell that story in my show, actually, about like her comeback and the Vici d'arte. And he goes, oh my, so he sat in the front row and stayed and watched the show and just like cried like a baby. And it was just, that was a really cool experience to have that parallel, and him tell me that story an hour before I went on stage.
Got you. I see that you were featured at the Hollywood Fringe 2021.
Yes, that was with La Divina. Yeah.
That's great. That is great. Tony, can you give me number 47, please? This one, I think she's going to, yes. Who that?
So it didn't come up on my screen.
Oh, it's actually Jenny and Lynn. Jenny Lynn.
Oh, okay, great. I believe you.
The one right behind you. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We just happen to have a video, a short video, if you would. Tony, roll it, Tony.
How did I get this nickname, the Swedish Nightingale? Well, I'm from Sweden. I wish to close this contract tonight. Lindomania was sweeping the country. We want Jenny. We want Jenny. Some of them fell into the water.
We're going to send you a copy of the show so you'll hear it and see all the stuff in there. Excellent. Tell us a little bit about this new show that you're doing, P.T. Barnum.
Yes. So when Jenny Lind came to America in 1851, she came to tour with P.T. Barnum, and she witnessed this nation that was torn apart over slavery. And once she got to America, she realized she was on the wrong side of that argument. And so throughout, what this show does is it takes place at her 93rd concert on tour with P.T. Barnum.
Wow.
She had essentially been exploited for 9 months, and she decides to quit the tour, partially for the exploitation, the relentless marketing, the whole commercialism of it all, because she was a very charitable and modest woman, but then also discovering this racist past of his, and this continual, just to push his further agenda of selling tickets. And so she ends up making the bold move to quit, and then she manages her own tour in the United States, and she ends up donating part of the proceeds of her tour to Harriet Beecher Stowe to free enslaved families in Washington, D.C. So it's a side of the story that not many people hear or know about. So I'm really excited to tell it.
I know your family and friends are very excited about you, lady.
Oh, thank you. I hope, yes, they are.
What inspired you to write this particular show?
So I was doing my other show, La Divina, and and a journalist wrote. She came to see the show and she reviewed my show, and she wrote, "This must have been what it felt like to see Jenny Lind in concert, the Swedish Nightingale, because of her voice." And I went, huh, is that my next show? And so I started kind of digging around and doing some research, and her repertoire is the same repertoire that I sing. And my college was founded by Swedish immigrants. And so we have grants at our college to fund these kinds of projects. And there had been an email 2 months prior about this, but I thought I brushed it off. And then I went back in my inbox, I looked at it and I went, oh gosh, 5 days till the application's due. And so I wrote a grant application in 5 days and to get the Wallenberg grant to perform Jenny Lind Presents P.T. Barnum. And so I spent about 2 years reading, researching, writing, and a lot of trial and error with this one.
Tony, can you show us this picture? Look at this picture. Look, who's this? Who is that lady? Who is that lady?
I don't know.
You're involved with the Hollywood Fringe. Do you spend some time with them? Can we have a few moments to tell us what's that about, please?
Yes. So I will be at the Hollywood Fringe the last week of the festival. So it is a month-long festival of, I think there's 350 plus shows at this festival this year. It's pretty active. And it's spread out all through these smaller theaters in LA. And so Jenny Lind is a part of those offerings. And what I love about it is that the Hollywood Fringe, there's something for everybody. There is, if you need to laugh, if you need to cry, if you need something absurd, you need a dance show. And my show it's opera, history, and it's going to be a little bit more thoughtful. And so if that's your cup of tea, my show might be for you. Yeah, so I would say that. But what's fun is that this week I'm doing my very first musetta in La Boheme. So I'm doing that before I get here. So on the 23rd or 21st and 23rd, I'll be singing in La Boheme, and then I fly out to LA and do this.
Oh my goodness. When I saw the way they spell it, Musetta, and I thought, well, maybe that's wrong, because my mother, God bless her name is Mosetta, Mosetta.
Oh.
It's a little thing there. I said, oh, Mosetta, what you doing on this paper? Yeah. God bless her. Yesterday, of course, was Father's Day. It was a good day yesterday. I'm a father, so it was a good day. Have a good day.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
How do you manage to do all this with all the things you do? How do you do that?
Time management.
Okay.
A lot of coffee.
Okay.
And scheduling downtime throughout. I mean, I don't get, full days off a lot of times, but being able to schedule some downtime for relaxation, having a lot of really great friends and family as a support system is really important. But sometimes I do all of these different projects and I think, is this too much? And then I think about COVID times. And I was miserable during COVID and we couldn't do anything. But more importantly, I think about 13-year-old Shelley would be kicking myself if I complained at all about having all of these cool opportunities, because this was my dream. So those are some things that keep me going for sure.
Shelley, lady, you've done it again. You've done it again.
Oh,
it's
thank
been
you.
a pleasure talking with you, madam. We'll make sure you get a copy of it. You get a credit for it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Indeed. As you showed us some marvelous, and the only way that you can do it, my best to your publicist, my good friend, Philip Sokoloff.
Yes, he's the best.
He's the best. He's the best.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So
thank you. Our sponsors, Harvey Brandman Photography is an Art. Ron Irwin's Lose Left, The Way to Lose Weight. Larry Beaver's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's actor training facility and Actors Space. Much thanks to our guest today, professional celebrity photographer, publicist, director Stephen Williams, and actor, playwright, associate professor of musical theater, Shelley Cooper. The Actor's Choice is a presentation of B&B Production. Rudolph Brewington is the president, and Sydney Chandler, that's our lady, she's our executive producer. Special thanks to our ever-growing audience Ron Brewington. We thank you all very much. See you next time.